Exactly 6 months ago, Clair Obscur Expedition 33 was graced to gamers around the world, quickly becoming one of 2025's biggest hits, and for damn good reason. It came out swinging even during its reveal, and upon its release, the game delivered. We were treated to an engaging narrative from start to finish, grounded, beautiful character writing, addictive turn-based combat, and this is coming from someone who's given up on about every turn-based game he's ever played, and a god-tier soundtrack. Oh my lord, you best believe I will praise the game's music whenever I get the chance. Clair Obscur is beloved by millions across the globe, but this love exceeds just the game and towards the game's developer, Sandfall Interactive. But why is this the case? Plenty of amazing games have come and gone, but why is it that 6 months later, the love for Clair Obscur and Sandfall is still going strong? The reason is actually very simple and is something gaming needs to see more: passion. With that said, let's look at how Clair Obscur Expedition 33's inception, design, critical and commercial success, and the legacy it left on us all remain strong even today, 6 months later. Before getting into the thick of the video, let's quickly get you all brushed up on the game's general premise. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is a turn-based RPG set in a Belle Epoque-inspired fantasy world. In this world is the city of Lumière. Every year, a mysterious figure known as the Paintress paints a number on a monolith for everyone in Lumière to see, where everyone of age or older than the painted number has their lives cut short, which is part of the annual event dubbed the Gommage. With each passing year, the number continues to decrease by 1, decreasing until everyone in Lumière eventually perishes to the Gommage. Refusing to accept their fate, the people of Lumière form an annual expedition to sail towards the mainland, with the goal of defeating the Paintress and putting an end to the Gommage once and for all. 67 expeditions have come and gone, and now you assume the role of Expedition 33, the most impactful expedition of them all. As for its gameplay, Clair Obscur doesn't hide its love for classic JRPGs, taking much inspiration from the likes of Final Fantasy, Legend of the Dragoon, and Persona to name a few. You have a stunning visual world full of fantasy elements that you and your party explore, collecting new weapons, items, and of course party members, all while gradually increasing your strength on your journey. While paying homage to what came before, Clair Obscur also implemented new elements into its combat, in particular real-time elements such as attack parrying, dodging, and jumping. As such, you don't simply make an attack and wait for the enemy turn to end. You're engaged in the combat 24/7. Now with its general premise discussed, let's finally take a look at the team behind Clair Obscur. Clair Obscur began as a simple passion project, born from the ambition of its creative director and Sandfall Interactive founder, Guillaume Broche. Guillaume was a former Ubisoft employee who felt unfulfilled in his role at Ubisoft. Desiring more, Guillaume left Ubisoft, brought on a few of his friends in the industry, and founded Sandfall Interactive. Over the course of the game's development, Sandfall's team grew into a humble small team not exceeding the size of typical indie studios. The small team at Sandfall allowed them to maintain a laser-eyed focus on what they wanted to make, and that vision was never lost. And as I mentioned earlier, you can feel this passion in every single aspect of this game's design. The story is written with so much emotion, it will make you smile, laugh, cry, put you in a state of suspense, all while meshing together incredibly. It feels so human. Now, opinions on turn-based combat are very mixed, and as someone who has tried many turn-based games and dropped them all, I became addicted to Clair Obscur's combat. Not only is it incredibly fun, but I also love just how much Sandfall shows their love of the games they grew up playing. Now, Sandfall, being a French team and setting their game in a very French-inspired world, implemented a strikingly beautiful art style that we hardly ever see in gaming, based on the Belle Epoque era of history, one that we all immediately fell in love with. They simultaneously honored the JRPGs of old while implementing their love for their own culture, giving Clair Obscur a unique identity and further showcasing the deep care from the team at Sandfall that is so easy to feel. And of course, what kind of fraud would I be talking about the passion of Clair Obscur without mentioning the music? Oh my god. Okay, listen. Lorient Testal is actually a genius. Thank you so much for creating what is genuinely one of the greatest gaming soundtracks of this decade. When it comes to passion for their craft being put on full display, Clair Obscur composer Lorient Testal is a quintessential example. He had never worked on a game in his entire life, yet his deep understanding of what makes video game music so powerful, along with his experience with his catalog of game-inspired music he composed in his spare time, got the attention of Guillaume Broche. And good lord, the music speaks for itself.
I'm here.
And as much as I would love to keep going on about the music, I actually already did just that in this video. I go very in-depth on why Clair Obscur's music is even better than you think, so definitely check that out if you want to hear more. It was so much fun to make, and I would really appreciate if you gave it a watch. You'll find the link below. You can feel when something has a ton of love put into it, and that's absolutely the case with Clair Obscur. The entire team gave it their all, and we can see that, which makes us appreciate the game and Sandfall even more. Clair Obscur definitely left its mark. For plenty of reasons, Clair Obscur won't be going anywhere anytime soon. I've praised the game and the developers plenty, and now it's time to praise the positive impact it left on gaming. The games industry has been going through a brutal time. Heck, that's putting it lightly. Game cancellations, mass studio layoffs, and anti-consumer practices have plagued the industry for too long. It seemed like every other day we were getting hit with bad news, and that's all that we were gonna get. Then we got Clair Obscur, a game that endured years of hardship but still turned out phenomenal, where its studio got to appreciate the fruit of its labor without laying anyone off to save a few bucks. A game with zero microtransactions or any content locked behind a paywall. A game that also released cheaper, thereby being more accessible for people to play. The gaming community has sought this for years, and my god, did it get us all talking. Clair Obscur looked at all the horrible modern-day gaming practices and said, nah, we're gonna do so much better. It quickly became the gold standard for what gaming should be, not just in game quality, but most importantly, in practice. It proved that there absolutely are passionate developers who are capable of so much more, who do have the power to create positive change in the industry, and the norms that other studios try to set that work against us don't have to be the norm. We've been saying this for years, and Clair Obscur as well as Sandfall Interactive put that on full display. And you know what? They didn't even mean to. They inadvertently did, not by publicly stating them, but by simply creating a no-nonsense, phenomenal game. Why Sandfall took this approach also feels simple to me. They're a studio whose intent was to create a game they themselves would love, with a gaming-first approach. The behind the scenes of the development of Clair Obscur, as well as the founding of Sandfall, just feels so genuine. Heck, look at the Sandfall Interactive website. I absolutely love how on the team page, after their role, you can see every team member's favorite games, something that all of us love discussing amongst ourselves. And seeing this immediately makes the team feel less like expendable cogs in a huge machine, but feel more relatable. Again, more human. Sandfall was straight with us as to what they were making and how they presented themselves. They're composed primarily of juniors in the industry, even some people who had never worked on a game before, but they still gave it their all and succeeded tremendously. They brought that magic back for us all to see, because that's what they grew up with, and that's what they know makes games and the people behind them special. Seriously, a lot of AAA studios could learn a thing from Sandfall's approach. So, Clair Obscur's impact is undoubtedly profound. The game has become an instant classic that is cherished by millions, myself included. It wasn't just an exemplary game, but an exemplary display of what happens when a studio prioritizes making the best game they possibly can over everything else. Everything gaming needs to be. Both commercially and critically, the game continues to perform. It is without question a Game of the Year frontrunner, and winner or not, we'll remember this game for years to come. As of October 8th, 2025, Sandfall Interactive celebrated Clair Obscur officially passing 5 million copies sold. In addition, they announced that they're working on a free update which includes a new playable environment, featuring new enemy encounters and surprises, so if you were like me, really sad that you had nothing else to do in the game and had to move on, well, no need to worry, we'll be returning to Lumiere yet again soon. Now, going beyond Clair Obscur, Sandfall's success has propelled them to keep up with their incredible success, sharing that they're eager to work on their next game. It's of course far too early to tell what this will be, whether a different game entirely or another Clair Obscur. Sandfall will work on what they feel holds their most creative potential, and I could not be happier to hear that. As much as we all love Clair Obscur, we can only get a game this incredible from them again if they carry that same drive into their next project. And they know that working on another Clair Obscur for the sake of banking off of its success will only hurt them. You know, I actually kind of feel bad for Sandfall, because Clair Obscur is so insanely good that their next project is going to have an extreme level of hype they need to live up to. But I guess that's a better problem to have than most. Regardless, we're all thrilled to see what Sandfall Interactive has in store. And that's all for this one. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to hear us praise Clair Obscur even further, make sure to like and subscribe, as well as find more on GameRant.com. This has been Bilal with Game Rant. Thanks so much for watching me geek out this long, and we'll see you again soon.